online reselling platform Poshmark making a big splash in its public debut today. That stock popping 130% after pricing at $42 a share. You see it now trading at just over 94. Let's bring in the CEO of Poshmark, Manish Chandra. He joins us now, along with Yahoo Finance's Brian Sazi. And Manish, first of all, congratulations on the debut. Certainly a lot of excitement in the market around this brand if you look at where it's trading right now. But you also priced shares at $42. I know CEOs don't like to talk about the price action, but how are you looking at the moves in its initial day, just given the huge divide between where you priced it?
So for us, from day one, we focused on building for the long term. You know, our focus has been serving our community and really reimagining the future of shopping. We feel like we're very early and we have a lot of room to grow. So that's our focus, and we really continue to remain focused on our mission.
Brian here. Unlike many of these tech companies that have come public over the past few months, you are actually profitable. For investors that don't understand your model, how have you been able to be a profitable company during a pandemic that has really run roughshod over the broader retail space?
Yeah, no, it's been a very, very sad situation. We certainly hope for better days to come. For us, I think our focus has been as an asset-light marketplace, empowering buyers and sellers to buy and sell directly, really focusing on community, and that ultimately leads to long-term cohort retention, long-term engagement, and that, you know, profit is really a consequence of building a business where buyers and sellers and the community comes together. So for our social marketplace, the key is remaining asset light and focusing on that deep engagement. Our users spend about 27 minutes a day on the platform every day.
Yeah, Manish, Zack here. I mean, I've been excited about this IPO for a while because we've talked a few years ago at another network. I highlighted kind of the resale aspect of this and people out there kind of being entrepreneurs. I talked to a few who are making six figures reselling clothes on Poshmark. Talk to me about that growth, though, when you think about untapped opportunities ahead, because there are a significant chunk of your users that are female, only about 10% who are male. You guys noted that in your S1. Is that an opportunity for Poshmark, or are you expecting kind of that breakdown to remain here when we think about people who resell on your platform?
Yeah, for us, really, it's been about reinventing this future of shopping. And for that, we think what we have tapped into is this ability to bring the human connection into online shopping, married with e-commerce, and empowering all of commerce to thrive. So we serve fashion, we serve home, we serve beauty, we certainly serve men, we serve women. Our sellers reside across 98% of the zip code in the country. So when we think of the paradigm, we think of it as a very universally applicable paradigm, not just in US, but also outside. We just launched Canada and we built an active community there. So we think, number one, we can go global. Number two, the community can grow. For our current 30 million active users, we can grow into a much bigger population. And number three, we can serve more categories. So we see ourselves in just the first innings of a very long runway ahead of us.
Manish, it's been interesting to see the activity on your platform throughout the pandemic. It's become kind of a place where a lot of Americans can turn to earn extra income at a time when they've been struggling. Two questions on this. Number one, how much of that momentum, the activity that you've seen over the last year, do you think can be sustained? And to the second point, what are people selling? What have you seen that's kind of surprised you at what people are willing to trade in?
Yeah, first, I think entrepreneurship is the bedrock of our country, but also more importantly of our community. I think everyone is really encouraged to embrace their weirdness, which is one of our core values, and thrive in their own unique ways. So we think that that journey will continue to expand and grow. COVID has certainly been one of those destructive forces that have made many people look for alternative forms of income. And we certainly think that that broadening of the income base is going to continue. When we think about sort of what's happening on our platform, to me, it's been a little bit of a return to old. You know, you see tie-dye t-shirts, you see simplicity in fashion, you see sweatshirts, you see active wear. And one of the advantages we have as an asset-light marketplace is it is very easy for the sellers to come in and start to reconfigure their inventory and switch from selling dresses and suits and shirts all the way to selling sweatshirts and sneakers and activewear. So that's one of the powers of our model.
Manish, as a founder of the company, listen, we talked in 2019 at the National Retail Federation Conference. I know you care deeply about the company. And in that regard, should Poshmark be selling political items on its site? I go to the site, I see MAGA hats. Should Poshmark be selling those type of items? And if not, have you had a discussion to pull them off?
Yeah, so I think the way we kind of think about our community and content is really making sure that we have good content. So we have three ways of looking at our content. Number one, we use technology to sort of monitor what's happening in our content. Number two, we empower our community. So our community can vote and give us input. And number three, we have a core content moderation team. So that's how we tackle any kind of content. And as a social marketplace with 200 million items and over 70 million registered users and 4.5 million active sellers, we have to take this area of any kind of content control very seriously. So we'll continue to serve the community in the best way possible using these three pillars, people, technology, and our own team.
Yeah, it's interesting because you normally wouldn't think of an e-commerce retail site to have to grapple with these issues, but we've even seen some of those traditional players like Walmart go through and have to pull down some things in their catalogs as well here. But when we focus in on growth, obviously being a publicly traded company now and the aspect of maybe why we're seeing a double on your first day of trading, particularly the fact that we've highlighted here that this is a profitable company and you were able to show that in the first years you reported here in 2020. When you look ahead, if you're kind of facing that trade-off between more growth opportunities outside of the U.S., how do you grapple with the investment that the company is going to need to put in to get those off the ground and maintaining profitability in quarters ahead? How important is that for shareholders?
So for us, I think there are a few things about our business model that are very key to understand. Number one is it's a very high gross margin model because it's an asset-light business and a marketplace. Number two, we have long-running cohorts. We have history of really building out these cohorts who are loyal, and that's because of our razor-sharp focus on servicing our community and really making sure that their needs are served. And number three, we believe that there's massive room for growth that we can fuel both domestically and internationally. So we'll continue to invest in that growth, but because of the inherent efficiency of the model, we feel this model is really robust and built for the long term.
Manish, recently, TikTok and Walmart teamed up to launch some new shopping venture where you could buy things in real time by watching influencer videos on TikTok. Is that a market you're looking to get into?
For social marketplace like ours, I think the advent of the fact that social is really becoming a dominant way and being merged with commerce is fantastic. For us, from day one, we focused on social and commerce, and both at a massive scale. So what you see on Poshmark is, on one side, you have our 30 million active users spending 27 minutes a day. On the other side, you have 4.5 million active sellers, 6.2 million active buyers who buy 6 times a year. So when you combine these two forces, we see the future is very bright for social commerce and a massive opportunity. So we're very excited about all the collaborations, all the innovation that's happening around the market of social commerce.
And a hot start on day one, no doubt for sure, seeing that double on day one. Congratulations, the CEO of Poshmark here, Manish Chandra, alongside Yahoo Finance's Brian Sozzi. Thanks to you both.